Well, everyone, we have made it to pre-release weekend for Part the Mistveil. I'm feeling better, so I'm back on the video grind, and today we're going to swing back into things with a nice, easy video. These are my top 10 favorite cards, and I will also say probably the most powerful cards in the set. In no particular order, I think all of these cards are absolutely busted in the best of ways, and we're going to start things off with probably my favorite card from this set, and it very well could be your favorite card from the set. It's Mask of Recurring Nightmares. This card is so much freaking fun to play. It makes playing new feel so fresh. I would have said so new, but no, I'm leaving that one off to the side. It feels so freaking fresh to play new and to use Chi, not just to activate her effect, but to do this. This is almost just straight up her effect. And that is okay by me, because paying 3 in, the form of like 1 inner Chi to force your opponent to banish a card from their hand, oh, it feels so good. Oh, it feels so wonderful. It's just like that feeling of that play loop of just making a Chi in reaction, pitching said Chi to activate Mask of Recurring Nightmares, and then just forcing a card out of your opponent that they will never see again. Feels incredible. And it also opens up the possibility for synergies. If they banish a blue, obviously you have access to it from new. If they don't banish a blue, they're just taking a card from their hand, and you're making their turn less impactful, which is exactly what a lot of assassins want to do, making their turns less impactful so you can come at them with even more. This is my favorite card. I want to chase it in cold foil, and I'm probably going to open boxes until we luck into it. So tune in for that if you want to see us open some boxes and try to luck into a Mask of Recurring Nightmares. Next up, we have another of the most powerful cards. All of these, like I said, are the most powerful cards in the set, and this one is a bomb. In lots of games, when you play Limited or when you play, I even really like the main format, like Classic Constructed is for Flesh and Blood, there are cards that just hit the board and do the thing. And everyone knows them, and everyone is aware of them. And Manifestation of Miragai is that card. It is one of those cards that hits the table, and you know that it's going to stomp face if you don't do something about it. It costs 3. It has Ward X, where X is the number of +1 counters on it. And I want to point this out. A lot of people were wondering why this card's so good when it first came out. So if you're also wondering why it's so good, this enters the arena with 2 +1 counters, so no matter what you do, if you pitch a blue, it comes in with 2 +1 counters. That means it has Ward 2, okay? But the +1 counters also give it extra attack. So when you attack with this, with Cosmo says this, illusionist aura is a weapon with the attack equal to its ward. So if it has Ward 2, well, it's going to swing for 2, except the +1 counters also give it a buff. And so it actually swings for 4. So basically whatever it's warding for is the number of tokens on it. Just double that and you have its attack. So if you pitch a Chi to play this, it comes in with 4 +1 counters, ward 4, and it swings for 8 every time they swing it. That is so good. That is so good. Swinging for 8, and it's a 1 for 8. That's just strictly it's so insane. It's strictly better than any Guardian weapon that exists, and Enigma just gets to play this. So whenever you see this, and this is the best part, they can't just target it down and remove it, so whenever you see this, it's like, okay, I need to figure out some way to get that off of the board ASAP, or else I'm just going to be eating big chunks of damage. That's why that card is quite good. Also quite good, but in a completely different way, is Shifting Winds of the Mystic Beast. It cost 1 to play this. It's a Mystic Ninja action. We've had an Assassin, we've had an Illusionist card, now we have a Ninja card, and this one is a pure combo enabler. It says whenever you play a Crouching Tiger this turn, you get to name a card, and the Crouching Tiger takes on the name. If a Chi was pitched to play it, you get to make 2 Crouching Tigers in your hand, and this of course says go again, so you can continue your turn. Why do I love this card so much? Why is it so powerful? Because this card single-handedly enables you to play any combo line in Zen and never feel bad about it. You always have synergy with the combo lines that you're including, because this card turns the Tiger that you make when you pitch for Zen's effect. This card turns that Tiger into the combo piece you need. And You know that's going to have guaranteed go again because it's applying to a tiger. The problem with a lot of combo lines in Flesh and Blood and combo in general, the struggle with it, the challenge, if you will, is that when you play that combo line out like in your deck and you draw into the middle of the combo line without the beginning of the combo line, most of those don't have go again. Of course, you're looking at Bonds of Ancestry now. That whole combo line does. Descendant Gustwave has go again, with even if you don't like activate it, right? So you can just play Descendant into Bonds and you feel good. All of the old school ones, they don't have go again in the middle. So if you don't have the natural combo line, or if you can't tutor out the natural combo line with Katsu effect, then you just kind of screwed, right? This card says you don't have to be Katsu. You just need a Crouching Tiger, and it doesn't matter what part of the combo line, because that Crouching Tiger with go again is going to fill in. It's very much like Be Like Water, old school Be Like Water, which isn't that long ago, it's just from Outsiders. It's like that, but for everything. And that is what makes this card very powerful in my opinion, because now with a card like this, you can basically dabble into any combo line that you want with Zen without just having to full commit to one type of playstyle. Very well designed card. On to my spoiler card. Look, I couldn't not include my spoiler card. Cosmic Awakening is the most powerful attack in the game, bar none, if you pitch 3 chi for it. And by 3 chi, I of course mean 3 chi cards, because it costs 9, and if you pitch 3 chi cards, it attacks for 20. I have already been tagged multiple times by people who have done this, including my good friend Breezy, and he has done this, swung for 20, and that's pretty awesome, because this, and I haven't done it myself, but this has to feel quite good swinging for 20 on a turn, half of your opponent's life in one singular card. That is very exciting. It's very cool. It's very fun. And to me, this card fits such a wonderful niche because it is like a big, like stompy attack, right? It's a bomb of an attack, but it also is like pure anti-fatigue, which is something that deep down I feel so good about, because I don't really like going to fatigue. Like I don't like decks that like only target fatigue as the win condition. And this card says, yeah, you don't get to do that. You have to play the game and see the world, but mostly play the game and not sit back and play the blocking simulation. So Cosmic Awakening has to make the list in my opinion. Also making the list though is Levels of Enlightenment. And I don't know, like I included Levels of Enlightenment because Levels of Enlightenment is basically included in every Mystic deck that just exists, which is kind of funny because sometimes I don't actually think that you should include it, but right now it's being included everywhere, and so on. This is like the community award in my opinion. I include it in a lot of my lists as well, but the more that I play with it, I shouldn't be so negative about one of the best cards in the set, but the more that I play with it, the more I'm forced into the play lines where I'm like, I have to play this blue by pitching a blue so that I can transcend, but the transcend card is blue and that's the one that I want to pitch. And so sometimes it feels weird, but I will tell you this. Every deck can make use of this. Every deck can pitch blue and play Levels of Enlightenment for 3 go again and feel pretty good about it. And then when you get to send it for 5 go again or draw a card 3 go again, it's pure value. And if in the Magical Christmas Land you set up your turn to where you play this for all 3 options, then you get to go draw a card 5 go again. That's pretty good. That is pretty good, I will say. So this one definitely makes the list. I think pure flexibility. That's the best way to describe this card, because you could also look at this as like a 2 card 3 draw card, right? And that's not bad. Like playing it out as a 2 card 3 draw card and like replacing itself, like put it in the arsenal. It's not bad. A 2 card 5 doesn't feel good, but you can go like, if you're playing new, you can go Dagger into this, which is like a 2 card 6. It's not bad. Yeah, there's the flexibility of this makes this a greatly designed card if you're trying to supplant, I guess we'll use that word, trying to supplant a card like Enlightened Strike. This is the Enlightened Strike of the set, and it's a good role player for all of the heroes in the set. Bonds of Agony, however, is really just for new. And I guess you could play this in Azuri if you wanted to. Really, you could play it in, this is really good in Arachne Solitary Confinement, holy crap. But I will say this right now. This is probably just like hands down, chips on the table, the most disruptive card in the game of Flesh and Blood. In the game of Flesh and Blood, there is not a more disruptive on-hit effect. This is the one. When this hits a hero, look at their hand, choose a card, search their hand, deck, graveyard, banish up to 3 cards with the same name as the chosen card, and then they shuffle their deck. It destroys pitch stacks. It rips a card from the hand, and it rips all copies of said card, up to 3, of course, from the deck and the graveyard. This card is the second reason why I've had so much freaking fun playing new. It is this, and it is Mask of Recurring Nightmares, and it's trying to make both of them feel really good to play. It is absurd. It is incredible that this card was printed, and I am so thankful that it was, because it is so much freaking fun to play. If you see this in Draft or in Sealed, you should consider it. You should consider playing new, because this one should be like the last card that we end with and talk about. It is that good. It is probably the best card we've talked about this far, even though there are cards I like more. I don't know, maybe there aren't cards I like more. Restless Coalescence, though. Look, I almost put 10,000 Year Reunion on this list, but I swapped it out for Restless Coalescence because, let's be honest, 10,000 Year Reunion is incredibly flashy and fun to look at. Restless Coalescence win you games. Like, this is the card that wins you the game more often than something like 10,000 Year Reunion. Why? Because it's a 0-cost instant that can save your counters when something's about to explode, and it can also create and just poop out spectral shields. Just drop them onto the board, drop them on the old board, and just allow you to just live on spectral shield after spectral shield. This card is not only one of the best art cards in the set, with all the little cats, and just is really adorable. But it's also probably, along with Manifestations of Miragai and Phantom Tide Maw, like one of those combo pieces that Enigma is always going to include. Like, I'm not sure there's ever going to be a deck, unless you're just running like Attack, Action, Phantasm, Enigma. I'm not sure there's ever going to be a deck you're not going to include Restless Coalescence in. Leave a comment down below. Am I wrong? I think this is like Windmill Slam, Codex of Frailty levels of just inclusion in like Assassin. This is that for Illusionist and Enigma specifically. That card is ultimate, is what it is. All of these cards. Here's the thing. This set, I should have led with this. This set is full. I did top 10. This set is full of good cards. I could have done a top 20. We could just double the amount of cards that we talk about, because there are way more cards. Like, I didn't even talk about Persuasive, the whatever her name is. I'm putting it on the screen. Whatever. Persuasive Prognosis. I think that's what it's called. We didn't even talk about that card. Because that card's really good too. And like, there's multiple other Illusionist cards. I could have included 10,000 Year Reunion, but instead I'm including Visit the Golden Anvil, which is an Olympia specialization. Yes, the last few cards we're going to talk about are from the expansion slot. And you have to talk about this one because it literally gives life to an entire hero. It gives an identity to an entire hero. All of a sudden, Olympia went from guy who makes gold is the payoff, to now guy who can purchase armor over and over again with gold, which in a way, it almost kind of feels like that could be the gold main estate type effect. Like, that's what Victor does. He's so rich and flush with cash. He just goes and buys more equipment. But I like that it's Olympia's thing, because he's always engaging in fighting. He goes back to fighting. Like, that's his jam. That's his style. He's the king of the arena, and he wants everyone to know it. So he's not spending his money in other places. He's buying weapons. And that's what he does. He buys equipment or weapons, and he can just recycle them. This gives an entire identity to a hero, and you can't leave it off of a list. Just straight up, you can't, in my opinion. Speaking of cards that you can't leave off the list, if you know anything about me, you probably knew we would try to shoehorn in any wizard representation whatsoever, and Kindle is that. Kindle almost single-handedly allows us to play a different version of Kano that is still combo focused, that is still very like wizard combo oriented. That's not like just brainstorm. And I think that's very cool, because one thing that I've wanted for a while is a way to play Kano in Classic Constructed consistently, like decently, that isn't just OTK like on Wildfire. And this feeds the OTK Wildfire thing, but it also allows you to kind of play on a different axis. Like, the weird thing about this card is that it's a blue. Like, can you believe that? This is a blue, because what it does is you play this card when you have no cards in hand, right? It draws you a blue. So playing this card gives you 3 resources in a way, which is cool, because it enables like a lot of very interesting things, right? Because drawing an extra card, and when your deck is so predicated on blues, even if you don't draw a blue, you ragamuffins, and then you draw the blue because you find the blue one way or the other, and that's what makes it great. Also, it encourages you to play out like new lines that you couldn't really get to. This to me is very similar to the shifting ties, or the shifting winds, excuse me, that we talked about earlier, in that it enables you to do more than you could have done prior. Not necessarily more powerful, well, in some cases, yes, but more flexible. And that's what makes this really exciting to me. But it's not the final card we're going to talk about, because the final card we're going to talk about, whether you like it or not, could be the most powerful card that has been printed for this specific hero, and it's Shadow Realm Horror. It's a Shadow Brute action attack. It attacks for 6, it costs 2, and it says win the... No, it doesn't say win the game. It says, as an additional cost to play this, banish 3 random cards in your graveyard. If 1 or more cards with 6 or more banished attack are banished this way, this gets +1. Okay, so this is always getting +1, which means this really attacks for 7. Okay, now, if 2 or more are banished, it's a 7 with go again. So really, when you're playing this, it's gonna be 7 with go again, right? But then it says, if 3 or more are banished this way, you can play a card banished this way this turn. Now that's the linchpin, because more often than not, you're gonna hit 2 on this card. And if you miss because you're playing this early game, or your graveyard sucks, it's not very good anymore, it's not full of hits, then it's at the very least, it's just, like 7 damage. 7 go again is more often than not what you're gonna get. But in the eventuality that they hit all 3, and you've been doing very good job of keeping your graveyard full of hits, you get to go 7 go again into like 6 or 7. That is just so good. That is so good. This card is so good. In a hero that was already full of powerful cards, like, mind you, Leviah is not a terrible hero. She used to be a bad hero before they started feeding her in Dusk Till Dawn and some sets like leading up to that, right? They started feeding her cards, and they gave her a demi-hero, and she gained a lot of power. And this is the Savage Sash of, well, she got that too, but she's probably still playing Carrion Husk. This is the Savage Sash of Leviah, and more power to them, because I think they're going to take it and run with it. And you know what? You can buy this set and take it and run with it as well. And you can do so from MinMax Games, because MinMax Games has good deals. So check out MinMax Games. In fact, after next weekend, we're going to get on a stream, and MinMax Games gave me a birthday present, but they have a little stipulation attached to it. So next week, we're going to do a stream, and you're going to help me buy a deck that I'm going to play at US Nationals in a side event. And you get to pick all the cards, and it's going to go really well for me, let me tell you what. But if you want to pick up any of MST, check out MinMax Games, because they sponsor the channel, they love you, and they want to support you on your TCG journey, no matter what game you play. But if you enjoy this type of video, if you want to see more cards and people talking about cards, make a number go slightly higher, become a patron on the Patreon, and you can check out a couple of my deck lists that are going to be coming out for the various heroes from this set. And as always, thanks for watching.